Hello and welcome to Low Budget Gaming and welcome to another GOG sales video. This is the autumn sale and once again I'll be looking at the best deals under $5. Now I already made a video with best deals under 10 and under 5, but I have more games here. The games are not repeated from the previous video, so I had 10 videos in that one. We have another 15 here. Now before I start, there is a free game you can claim for the next 2 days. This is King's Bounty: The Legend. So as I mentioned, they normally like to give away a few games during these bigger sales. Since this is a 2-week sale, this is a second game during the first week. I expect another 2 next week. I'll keep you informed. I'll have a separate video on the other channel. But yeah, let's get into this first with a couple of classics. Since this is quite popular right now, we have Baldur's Gate Enhanced Edition. So the original game obviously came out a long time ago, I believe in 1998, but this version here, the enhanced version, is a sort of a remastered version that was released in 2012 with some updates and things like that. It doesn't look as bad as I would think for a game from the 90s, but they had updated a few things, and I think they've added a expansion or something as well with this version. So yeah, if you are liking the new one or if you're curious about it, you could maybe give it a try here. Obviously keep in mind these are like 25-year-old games. The second one is also on sale here, also enhanced and released in 2012, re-released I should say, and more of the same I guess. Now I'm sort of old enough to remember when they first came out, and I had this book a long time ago with like the best games of the year 2000, like sometime around that, and these were games mentioned there. Not, I think this one came out later, I think 2001 or something, but I do remember the name Baldur's Gate, but I didn't know how to pronounce it. And yeah, so interesting here. Both are here available. Of course, the third one is hugely successful right now, but you could play the originals here. Now we move on to Witcher 2, Assassins of Kings Enhanced Edition. So I often try to mention this game because this is surprisingly good and a little different from the big Witcher 3 game, which was the huge success. I played Witcher 3 first, enjoyed it, and I went back and played this and really liked it as well. I was quite surprised. And this is 85% off, $299. So if you haven't played Witcher 2, this is worth your time. Graphically it holds up, story is quite intense, and it has sort of 2 branching paths. So you could have a good sort of like play it twice if you wanted to explore the different options. So yeah, very nice game. Definitely play this one if you liked Witcher 3. Next is Titan Quest Anniversary Edition. So as some of you know, I have bought Diablo 4. But my favorite Diablo style ARPG has always been Titan Quest, and this is the Anniversary Edition. They have also announced a sequel. There was a trailer a couple of weeks ago or something. We don't know when it will come out, but I'm so happy that a second Titan Quest is coming out. So the first one is here. The Anniversary Edition has a full expansion as well. The base game, which is pretty long on its own, and then a full expansion, like the same length you could say. So great value, holds up well. The community has been actively supporting the development of this game, so they have improved quite a lot. I'm not 100% sure because I first played this in 2006 when it came out, and when I tried it again recently, everything was voiced, like everybody was voiced, all the side characters and stuff like that. I don't remember if that was the case in 2006, but that may be the result of the community actively developing this game. Graphically still looks decent, and yeah, still holds up very well. It's got an ancient Greek setting, so makes it even more. So 75% off, $499. Now we have Chaos Bane Slayer Edition. Now for some reason this game never goes this cheap on Steam. Only on GOG it drops down to $4. On Steam it's never dropped below 16 for some reason. Anyway, this is a similar ARPG, similar to like Diablo and stuff, and this is set in the Warhammer fantasy setting, not the 40k, not the ones with the space marines. This is the old style one. So here it's not a great one. Let me make that clear. It's not the best game in the world. I have played this. I have the base version of the game, I believe, or I played it on a free weekend, something like that. It is fun if you are a fan of these ARPGs, Diablo style games. It is good. It's got all of that with the Warhammer fantasy setting. But the Slayer edition includes a lot more content here. So all these things like boosts and pets. But the ones you really want is Tomb King's Witch Hunter DLC. So these are like the good DLCs that you want. And yeah, for $4, not bad. You could have a look. Let's see how much the base game is. Base game is $3, but yeah, look at all the extra content you get for $1 more. Yeah, I think it's worth a try for under $5. Next, we move on to some more atmospheric horror style games. We have Stalker, Shadow of Chernobyl. I have actually bought the full Stalker trilogy not too long ago, just last week, because I have never actually played this, seen and a lot of gameplay and videos and stuff, but wanted to get it finally. This is the first game, Stalker Shadow of Chernobyl. First person atmospheric open world horror FPS style game. This is 75% off $4.99. There are two other games in the series. I believe Clear Sky is next, and then Call of Pripyat is the final one. Clear Sky is a bit cheaper at $2.49, and then Call of Pripyat is also $4.99. I believe the stories are connected. So yeah, entire trilogy as well is on sale for $12.50. Obviously, you could start with the first one, see if you like it. It actually looks pretty good despite its age. Graphically, you can see here, it's from 2007. This actually looks much better. I've seen some videos, and even without mods and stuff, it actually looks good. And if you're talking about Stalker, we should also talk about Metro 2033 Redux. Another classic series, also has 3 games. The full bundle is also on sale, most likely on sale. Metro Last Light is cheaper. But yeah, the first game, I've liked it quite a lot. I've said this before, my favorite is the first game. The atmosphere, the setting. This was really good. I did a full let's play of this and then a full live stream of the second game. I haven't played much of the third, but yeah, the first 2 games were really good. First one was my favorite. So 85% off, $299. Redux is like an improved, enhanced version because the original version was a bit buggy. This is also from the same period. Originally, the game was, I think, from 2010 or something. This Redux is from 2014. But yeah, if you like FPS horror style games, not that much in terms of horror, more sort of atmospheric, I would say. And you should definitely give this a try. Very good looking game. So yeah, good prices. Now we have something a little different. Well, it's not different, but it's interesting. This is Encased, a sci-fi post-apocalyptic RPG. So if you played Fallout, for example, Fallout games, they have that futuristic post-apocalyptic feel, but with a 1950s setting, right? This one here, it has more of a 1970s setting, if that makes sense. And I saw a review very recently because I was curious. I wanted to play more Fallout stuff, and this actually looks pretty fun. This was, I think, backed on Kickstarter, did very well, looks very good. It's got that strange sort of funny corporate humor that they have in Fallout and stuff like that. So yeah, it's actually really nice and well made. 84% off, $479 only. Now also, this was given away by Epic last year. So if you pick up games for free from there, you should have this one. Next is Technomancer, and this is something I played early this year, and I was actually quite surprised about this game because this is made by Spiders. Spiders made Greedfall previously, which was a game that had some moments in terms of like jankiness and a bit rough around the edges, but I really ended up liking it. This was one of their previous efforts, and in some ways I actually thought this was done better than Greedfall. So this is set on Mars, a few hundred years into the future. You play as a Technomancer. A Technomancer is basically just your normal human, but with some special abilities. They can sort of discharge electricity, which they use in combat. And so yeah, so this Technomancer is like an elite group of people. They try to keep their secret hidden about how they have the powers and stuff. And yeah, there are different factions on Mars, and you have to like work with them. Water is scarce, so whoever controls the supply of clean water is basically running the show. Again, this had some issues, like a bit rough around the edges. Difficulty was a bit weird in terms of spiking. A lot of areas where you have to go through multiple times, and you'll get sick of killing the same set of creatures over and over. But overall, the RPG side of things, like the skill trees, the dialogue options, different factions, how to manage them and stuff like that, those sort of things were good, side quests, etc. And ended up liking it as well quite a bit, and made a review as well on the other channel. It's 80% off, $2 only. Next we have Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen. So people often mention this game as a good option if you're looking for a medieval fantasy RPG. And this is made by Capcom, also was very popular, like cult hit, and they have also announced a sequel for this one. I don't know when it comes out. I think 2024, because we've only had like teaser trailers at this point. So yeah, should be good. Under $5 for a big RPG, 84% off. And there's also a anime for this, which I have watched because I had Netflix last year. PC wasn't ready then because I was moving, so I actually ended up watching the whole anime, and it was interesting. Very interesting experience, let's say. So yeah, this is Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen. Deus Ex Mankind Divided. So I mentioned Human Revolution in the previous video. I think that is a better game overall, but this is also pretty good. The trailer for this was insanely good, if you guys remember a few years ago. And the standard version is 85% off, $449. Digital Deluxe is a little too pricey in my opinion. Should have been like a tiny bit more, but it's more than double. So at the moment I'll only recommend the standard version. But yeah, great games. Hopefully these games make a comeback, because the setting, this was my first proper cyberpunk game, you could say. Like, I had heard the term, but this was the first time I had probably played a cyberpunk game, the first Human Revolution game. So yeah, definitely a good series to check out. Next is Styx, Shards of Darkness. So another interesting game. This is the second game in the series. First one was okay. I played a bit of it. A little more of the second one. So you play as a goblin called Styx, and it's got a sort of medieval setting once again here. This is basically a stealth game. So if you remember like the early Hitman games or the Thief games, this reminded me a lot of that. And that's because your guy here is like 3 foot tall and he's a goblin. He can't take armored soldiers in a fight. So you have to sneak around, stab people in the back quietly, stuff like that, throw other things like, bombs and things. Was fun. I definitely liked the little that I played. And this is 85% off, $299. Next we have The Council. So if you're a fan of the sort of story-driven narrative games, episodic ones like the Telltale games, this is something you should check out. It's got a weird sort of secret society setting in the 1790s or something. And you have some interesting guests like Napoleon, George Washington, and some mysterious sort of murder mystery elements happening here. Yeah, I've heard great things about this one. I played a little bit of the first episode because the first episode tends to be free for these ones. But it looked interesting, and I thought I'll check out the rest whenever I get a chance. Still haven't had the chance, but yeah. If you want more of those Telltale style games, definitely have a look at this. 75% off, $374. This includes all 5 episodes. Next we have Deep Sky Derelicts Definitive Edition. So Deep Sky Derelicts is kind of inspired by Darkest Dungeon, you could say. Difference here is you are going into derelict spaceships and scavenging for stuff, and then you come across different fights and creatures in the different rooms, you take them out. The gameplay is a little different than Darkest Dungeon. It's more card based here, but it was interesting enough. And once again, I was playing this last year just before the move, and I played a little bit, then the move happened and I kind of forgot about it. But yeah, it was surprisingly fun to play this. And then finally we have Tomb Raider Game of the Year edition, so the rebooted first game in the series. And I was actually not aware that this was here. Maybe it's a recent edition, I'm not sure. But yeah, this one is here, the rebooted one. And yeah, surprisingly fun. Seems like every decade we get a trilogy of Tomb Raider games. We had the ones in the 90s and the 2000s and the 2000 teens, I guess. So yeah, we might see more Tomb Raider games soonish, and the other games might also appear here. Also, of course, these were given away by Epic as well. Was it last year or the year before? I can't remember. I think the year before. So you guys probably already have this, but if you want a DRM free version, under $5 now for the Game of the Year edition. So yeah, that's another look at games under $5, all DRM free, of course, available on GOG. I have a few more ideas for GOG videos for this sale. If you have any requests, as always, let me know. All the links in the description. And yeah, thank you for watching. See you next time.